Hey coin lovers and treasure hunters. Welcome back to Global Coin News. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of United States Lincoln Memorial pennies. You might think these tiny 1-cent coins are just pocket change, but some of them are worth serious money in the collector market. In this video we're going to explore the top 6 most valuable Lincoln Memorial pennies ever, including different mint marks and exceptional conditions that make them rare, sought after, and highly valuable in today's market. From mint errors to condition rarities, this is a guide every collector or casual enthusiast should watch all the way through. Before we jump in, if you enjoy content about rare coins, historic pieces, and investment-grade collectibles, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. So let's get started. First up, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the United States Lincoln Memorial penny 1 cent from 1975. No mint mark, red color appearance, circulated condition, and its real action market value in dollars right now. Because many people overlook this coin, while smart collectors know exactly why it deserves attention. To truly understand the importance of the 1975 Lincoln Memorial penny, we need to step back in time. The Lincoln Memorial Cent series was introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the famous wheat penny design that had been in circulation since 1909. By 1975, the United States was going through a period of economic change, rising inflation, and increasing metal prices. Pennies were still being struck in a bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, making these coins heavier and richer in copper than modern cents produced after 1982. The 1975 penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place mint marks on coins at that time. Millions were produced, yet within those millions exist variations in strike quality, color, and condition that collectors carefully study today. Now let's talk about the unique features that define the 1975 Lincoln Memorial penny. On the obverse, you see the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's strong profile, sharp jawline, and detailed hair are key elements collectors examine closely. The inscriptions "I in God We Trust" at the top, Liberty to the left, and the date 1975 to the right all play an important role in identifying strike clarity and wear. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly at the center, with the tiny seated statue of Lincoln visible between the pillars, a detail that many casual observers never notice. Above the memorial is the inscription "United States of America" and below it 1 cent with the pluribus unum placed above the building. What makes some 1975 pennies stand out is their red color, a bright or semi-bright copper tone that indicates minimal oxidation, even if the coin has seen circulation. A red or red-brown appearance in a circulated coin can significantly boost its appeal. Color and condition play a massive role in collector demand, especially for copper pennies. Coins are generally classified as red, red-brown, or brown. A 1975 penny that still shows strong red luster, even in circulated condition, suggests it was well preserved, possibly stored carefully or spent very lightly. While circulated coins usually show wear on Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and hair, as well as on the memorial steps, a circulated example with clear details and attractive color is far more desirable than a dull, heavily worn brown cent. Rarity does not always mean low mintage. Sometimes rarity comes from finding a common coin in an uncommon state of preservation. Errors, strong strikes, and unusually vibrant color can turn an ordinary 1975 penny into a collector favorite. So what is the current market value of the 1975 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark? In heavily worn circulated condition with brown color, these coins are usually worth only a few cents over face value. However, when you move into nicer circulated examples with red-brown or red color, values can increase noticeably. A well-preserved circulated red or red-brown 1975 penny can sell for $385,000, depending on eye appeal. In higher uncirculated grades, especially those certified as full red by grading services, prices can range from $750,000 or more. Exceptional examples with sharp strikes, minimal spots, and strong luster have even sold for higher amounts at auction. While this may be a get-rich overnight coin, it is a strong example of how condition and color can dramatically change value. For collectors, the 1975 Lincoln Memorial penny offers several important lessons and opportunities. First, always check your change and old penny rolls carefully. Look for color, shine, and detail before dismissing a coin as common. Second, proper storage is critical. Copper coins are sensitive to moisture and air, so keeping them in protective holders or albums can preserve their color and value. Third, consider learning basic grading skills. Understanding the difference between heavy circulation and light circulation can help you spot undervalued coins. Finally, if you believe you have a particularly strong example, professional grading may be worth considering, especially if the coin shows bright red color and minimal wear. The United States Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent from 1975 without a mint mark proves once again that even the most ordinary coins can carry extraordinary stories and hidden value. It represents a unique moment in American history, a time when copper pennies were still a daily part of life, and quality craftsmanship mattered. Whether you are a beginner just starting your collection or a seasoned collector hunting for quality examples, this coin deserves a closer look. Next up, before you scroll away or dismiss the small copper coins sitting quietly in a jar, drawer, or old wallet, let me ask you something important. What if a single 1-cent coin from 1964, a coin millions of Americans once used to buy candy or newspapers, could still carry meaningful value today? Not just sentimental value, but real dollar value that serious collectors actively search for. We are diving deep into the story of the United States Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent from 1964, struck without a mint mark and preserved in very fine condition. This may look like an ordinary penny at first glance, but its history, design, condition, and collector demand make it far more interesting than most people realize. To truly understand the 1964 Lincoln Memorial Penny, we need to step back into American history. The Lincoln cent is one of the most iconic coins ever produced by the United States Mint. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it was the first U.S. circulating coin to feature a real historical figure. By 1959, the design was updated to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, replacing the wheat ears on the reverse with the Lincoln Memorial. The year 1964 sits firmly within a powerful era of American change. The nation was experiencing social transformation, economic growth, and a rising interest in coin collecting fueled by the silver coin shortages of the early 1960s. During this time, many people began saving coins, paying closer attention to dates, mint marks, and conditions, which quietly increased the importance of coins like the 1964 Lincoln Memorial Penny. The 1964 penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use mint marks during that period. These pennies were composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving them that rich, warm reddish-brown tone collectors love. On the obverse, you see the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has become instantly recognizable around the world. Lincoln's profile faces right, with strong detail visible in the hair, jawline, and coat when the coin is well preserved. The words "I in God we trust" arch across the top, while liberty appears to the left, and the date 1964 sits to the right. In very fine condition, these elements remain sharp, readable, and pleasing to the eye, showing moderate wear but retaining strong character. Turning the coin over reveals the Lincoln Memorial, an architectural symbol of American unity and remembrance. The detail on this reverse design is what truly separates average coins from desirable ones. In very fine condition, the steps of the memorial are still visible, the pillars are clear, and if you look closely, you can often still make out the seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial. This level of detail matters deeply to collectors. The inscriptions "United States of America" and 1 cent remain bold, while "E Pluribus Unum" sits proudly above the memorial. The balance between light wear and preserved detail is exactly what gives very fine condition coins their charm and collector appeal. Now let's talk about rarity and collector demand, because this is where many people get confused. The 1964 Lincoln Memorial Penny was minted in large numbers, so it is not rare in the traditional sense. However, rarity in the coin world is not only about how many were produced. It is also about how many survive today in respectable condition. Most 1964 pennies were heavily circulated, scratched, corroded, or damaged over decades of use. Finding one without a mint mark that still holds strong details, clean surfaces, and natural color in very fine condition is far less common than people think. Collectors value these coins because they represent an honest, well-preserved example of a historic year. As time goes on, high-quality survivors continue to disappear, increasing demand among collectors who want complete and visually appealing sets. When it comes to current market value in dollars, expectations must be realistic but informed. A 1964 Lincoln Memorial Penny without a mint mark in very fine condition will make someone instantly rich, it absolutely carries more value than face value. Depending on eye appeal, color, and overall preservation, these coins can sell for $478,000, and sometimes higher if professionally graded or part of a desirable collection. Coins with strong copper color, minimal marks, and balanced wear tend to command premiums. In the right market conditions and with rising interest in classic U.S. coinage, even modest coins like this can steadily increase in value over time. For collectors, the appeal lies not only in immediate profit but in long-term potential and historical significance. For collectors, owning a 1964 Lincoln Memorial penny in very fine condition is about more than money. It is about preservation, education, and patience. One important tip is to always handle coins carefully, holding them by the edges to avoid fingerprints and surface damage. Storing coins in proper holders, away from moisture and extreme temperatures, helps maintain their condition. Learning to recognize natural wear versus damage is another essential skill. Cleaning coins is one of the biggest mistakes beginners make, as it can permanently reduce value. Instead, collectors should focus on originality, honest wear, and clear details. Taking time to study similar coins, compare prices, and follow market trends builds confidence and sharpens collecting instincts. As we come to the conclusion, remember this. The United States Lincoln Memorial penny 1 cent from 1964 without a mint mark is a powerful reminder that history often hides in plain sight. It may not scream rarity at first glance, but its story, design, condition, and steady collector demand give it lasting importance in the world of numismatics. Coins like this teach us that value is not always about extreme rarity or headline-grabbing prices. Sometimes, value lives in preservation, history, and the quiet satisfaction of holding a well-kept piece of the past in your hand. So before you ignore that old penny, take a closer look. It might just be more valuable than you ever imagined. Next up, we're going on a journey into the story of the 1985 United States Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark in circulated condition. What it is, why people get excited over it, and whether it could be worth significant money in today's market. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might change the way you look at your spare change forever. The story of the 1985 United States Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin begins with one of the most iconic designs in American coin history. The Lincoln penny itself was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Decades later, in 1959, the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of American history, strength, and democracy. By 1985, this design had already become deeply familiar to the public, yet each year still carried its own importance, minting details, and collector interest. The 1985 penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark on pennies at that time. These coins were produced in very large numbers to meet everyday circulation needs, making them common in appearance but not meaningless in value. What makes the 1985 Lincoln Memorial penny unique lies in its classic features and composition. The obverse shows the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1985. The absence of a mint mark beneath the date confirms it was struck in Philadelphia. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly, with the tiny seated statue of Lincoln visible between the central columns, a detail many people overlook. The inscriptions "United States of America," "E Pluribus Unum," and 1 cent complete the design. This coin is composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating, a change that began in 1982, giving it a lighter weight compared to older solid copper pennies. Even in circulated condition, these details help collectors identify authentic examples and spot unusual variations. When it comes to rarity and collector demand, the 1985 no mint mark penny is not considered rare in normal circulated form, but demand still exists for specific reasons. Collectors actively search for high-grade circulated examples with strong details, minimal corrosion, and clean surfaces. More importantly, some 1985 pennies are known to have striking errors, die varieties, or unusual surface characteristics that dramatically increase their value. Off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, or coins with strong memorial details and sharp lettering can attract serious attention. Even circulated coins become desirable when they show unusual features or stand out compared to typical worn examples. This is why collectors and coin hunters continue to check every 1985 penny they find. Now let's talk about what everyone really wants to know, the current market value in dollars. In standard circulated condition, A typical 1985 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark usually sells for just a few dollars, depending on eye appeal and demand. However, examples in better circulated condition with minimal wear can reach several dollars. Coins graded in uncirculated condition can sell for higher prices, especially if professionally certified. Error coins from this year can range from $1.4 million or more, and in some cases, rare and dramatic errors have sold for millions of dollars in the active collector market. Value always depends on condition, rarity, and buyer interest, but the key takeaway is that this coin is not always just 1 cent. For collectors, knowing how to handle and evaluate this coin is essential. Always check your 1985 pennies under good lighting and, if possible, with a magnifying glass. Look closely at the date, lettering, and memorial details for doubling, misalignment, or unusual marks. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can significantly reduce its value. Store any promising examples in protective holders to prevent further wear or damage. If you believe you have an unusual or high-quality example, consider having it examined by a reputable coin dealer or grading service. Knowledge and patience are your strongest tools as a collector. The 1985 United States Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin without a mint mark, even in circulated condition, represents more than spare change. It is a small piece of American history, a coin that millions used every day, yet one that still holds interest, value, and opportunity for collectors today. While most examples are common, the right coin in the right condition or with the right error can be worth real money in today's active market. That small copper-colored coin might be quietly waiting to surprise you. Next up, we're diving deep into the United States Lincoln Memorial penny 1 cent from 1966 with no mint mark, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but carries historical weight, collector interest, and real market value when found in fine condition. The year 1966 sits at a fascinating crossroads in American history. The United States was in the middle of major social change, the Vietnam War era was unfolding, and the U.S. Mint itself was undergoing an important transition. Between 1965 and 1967, mint marks were intentionally removed from U.S. coins to discourage hoarding during a nationwide coin shortage. That's why the 1966 Lincoln Memorial penny carries no mint mark at all. Every penny struck that year was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, even though the mint's name does not appear on the coin. This small detail alone makes the 1966 penny an interesting historical artifact, representing a rare period when the U.S. Mint quietly altered its long-standing traditions. The Lincoln Memorial penny design itself is iconic and deeply symbolic. On the obverse, you see the timeless portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's calm yet determined expression reflects unity, resilience, and leadership, values that resonated strongly during the turbulent 1960s. The words "I in God we trust" arch above his head, while liberty appears to the left, and the date 1966 rests to the right. The absence of a mint mark below the date is not a mistake but a deliberate decision tied to U.S. Mint policy at the time. Turning the coin over reveals the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This was the first time a real building appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. If you look closely, especially on well-preserved examples, you can even see a tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, making him the only U.S. president to appear on both sides of the same coin. The inscriptions "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum" frame the design, while 1 cent sits boldly at the bottom, reminding us of the coin's humble face value. In terms of composition, the 1966 Lincoln Memorial penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This gives the coin its warm reddish-brown color when well preserved. Over time, many of these pennies darkened due to circulation and environmental exposure. That's why finding a 1966 penny in fine condition is becoming increasingly difficult. Fine condition means the coin still shows clear details, readable lettering, visible hair strands on Lincoln, and a reasonably intact Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Coins in this condition stand out among millions of heavily worn examples. When it comes to rarity, the 1966 Lincoln penny is rare in terms of mintage numbers, as hundreds of millions were produced. However, rarity in the coin world isn't only about how many were made, but how many survive today in collectible condition. Most 1966 pennies were heavily circulated, spent, and forgotten. As a result, well-preserved fine-condition examples are far less common than people realize. Collector demand focuses on coins with strong eye appeal, minimal wear, original surfaces, and no major damage such as corrosion or deep scratches. Today's active coin market places real value on condition and historical context. A circulated 1966 penny in poor condition may still only be worth face value, but a fine condition example can range from $376,000, depending on overall appearance. Coins grading higher, such as extremely fine or uncirculated, can sell for significantly more, sometimes reaching $1.2 million, or even higher if professionally graded and certified. Rare varieties, such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, or unusual planchet issues, can command even stronger prices and attract aggressive bidding from collectors. For collectors, the 1966 Lincoln Memorial Penny offers a perfect entry point into serious coin collecting. It represents a unique historical period, features a classic design, and remains affordable compared to older rarities. If you're searching for one, always examine your coins under good lighting. Look closely at Lincoln's hair, the cheekbone, and the memorial's columns. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can destroy its value instantly. Natural wear is always better than artificial shine. Storing your coin properly is just as important as finding it. Keep it in a protective holder, away from moisture and extreme temperatures. If you believe you have an exceptional example, consider having it evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or grading service. Even a small upgrade in condition can significantly increase its market value. The United States Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent from 1966 without a mint mark is far more than just spare change. It's a quiet witness to American history, a symbol of a unique era in U.S. coinage, and a collectible that still holds value in today's active market. The next time you come across an old penny, don't dismiss it too quickly. That small copper coin might just be a piece of history worth holding on to, studying, and perhaps even profiting from. Next up, we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the United States Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent from 1972 with the D mint mark, a coin in fine condition that many overlook, but serious collectors are beginning to watch closely. To truly understand why this coin matters, we have to travel back in time to the early 1970s. The Lincoln Memorial Penny series had already been in circulation for over a decade by 1972, honoring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse while showcasing the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The Denver Mint, represented by the D mint mark, played a major role in supplying pennies for everyday American commerce during this period. The United States was experiencing economic shifts, rising inflation, and increasing demand for small change, which led to massive production numbers. Yet, within these high mintages, certain coins survived with sharper details, cleaner surfaces, and stronger strikes, making them far more desirable today than most people realize. When you take a close look at the 1972 D Lincoln Memorial Penny, its features tell a story of American craftsmanship. On the front, Abraham Lincoln's profile appears calm and dignified, with the word Liberty clearly visible to the left and the date 1972 to the right. Above Lincoln's head, the familiar phrase "I in God we trust" stands as a timeless national motto. The fine condition of the coin plays a critical role here, because details such as Lincoln's hair, jawline, and coat remain well-defined, showing limited wear from circulation. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands tall, with its columns still sharp enough that Lincoln's statue inside can often be seen with careful inspection. The inscriptions "United States of America," "E Pluribus Unum," and 1 cent complete the design, reflecting the classic look that defined American pennies for decades. Now, let's talk about rarity and why condition changes everything. While the 1972 D penny itself is not rare in terms of total mintage, finding one in fine condition or better is where collector interest begins to rise. Most of these coins were heavily circulated, spent, scratched, and worn down over time. A fine condition example stands out because it retains strong lettering, minimal surface damage, and a more appealing overall appearance. Collectors are not just buying a penny, they are buying preservation, history, and quality. As demand grows for affordable yet collectible U.S. coins, well-preserved Lincoln Memorial pennies are steadily finding their place in collections around the world. So what is this coin actually worth today in the auction market? In general, a 1972 D Lincoln Memorial penny in fine condition can range from a modest premium over face value to several $538,000, depending on eye appeal and market demand. Coins with better surfaces, stronger strikes, or fewer marks can push higher within that range. While it may be a life-changing fortune, its value lies in its accessibility and its potential. Many collectors see these coins as long-term holds, especially as fewer high-quality examples remain in circulation each year. For collectors, this coin offers an excellent opportunity. The key tip is to always check your change carefully, especially older pennies. Look for clear details, minimal wear, and a strong D-mint mark. Store your coins properly in protective holders to prevent further damage, and avoid cleaning them, as cleaning can significantly reduce collector value. Learning to grade coins accurately will also help you recognize which examples are worth keeping and which are better left as spending change. Patience and consistency are what separate casual collectors from successful ones. The 1972 D. Lincoln Memorial Penny reminds us of an important truth in coin collecting. Value is not always about extreme rarity or sky-high prices. Sometimes, it's about history, condition, and the story a small copper coin carries with it. That ordinary penny you almost ignored could be a meaningful addition to your collection and a quiet investment for the future. Next up, we're taking a deep and detailed journey into the United States Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent from 1963 with the Denver D-mint mark, a circulated coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but tells an extraordinary story through its history, design, rarity, and modern-day market demand. To truly understand the 1963 D. Lincoln Memorial Penny, we need to step back in time. The year 1963 was a significant moment in American history. The nation was in the middle of cultural change, economic growth, and political transformation. This was also the final year of President John F. Kennedy's life, giving the era a powerful emotional and historical weight. During this time, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of Lincoln cents to meet everyday commerce needs. The Denver Mint, identified by the D-mint mark, struck a massive number of pennies in 1963. Using a bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. These coins were designed for daily use, not for collectors, which makes surviving examples in better condition especially interesting today. The Lincoln Memorial Penny series itself carries deep historical roots. Introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this design replaced the famous wheat ears on the reverse with the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. The obverse still featured Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Lincoln, a design first introduced in 1909. On the 1963 D penny, Lincoln's profile faces right, showing fine details in the hair, cheek, and coat lines, although circulated examples often show wear in these areas. The inscriptions "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1963 frame the portrait, while the small but important D mint mark sits just below the date, signaling its Denver origin. Turning the coin over reveals the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of unity, strength, and American ideals. One of the most fascinating features of this design is that Lincoln himself is visible seated inside the memorial, making it one of the few U.S. coins to show the same person on both sides. In circulated condition, the memorial steps and columns may appear softer, but the overall structure remains recognizable. The words United States of America and 1 cent dominate the reverse, with E pluribus unum placed above the memorial. Even in worn condition, these design elements connect the coin directly to American heritage. Now, let's talk about rarity and condition, because this is where collector interest truly comes into play. While the 1963 D penny is considered rare in terms of mintage numbers, its value depends heavily on condition, eye appeal, and special characteristics. Most examples found today are circulated, meaning they show signs of wear from years of use. However, collectors still seek circulated coins that retain strong detail, original color, and minimal damage. Pennies with fewer scratches, no corrosion, and even brown toning are more desirable than heavily worn or damaged pieces. Additionally, any unusual errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, can significantly increase collector demand and value. In today's auction market, the value of a 1963 D Lincoln Memorial penny in circulated condition generally ranges from a few cents above face value to around $1, depending on wear and eye appeal. While this life-changing at first, the real excitement comes when collectors discover higher-grade examples, uncirculated versions, or coins with rare minting errors. Those coins can sell for $468,000, or even more in competitive auctions. The strong copper content also adds an extra layer of interest, especially during times when copper prices rise, making older pennies more appealing to both collectors and investors. For collectors, owning a 1963 D penny is about more than just money. It represents a tangible connection to American history and a key chapter in the Lincoln Memorial Cent series. One important tip for collectors is to always examine coins carefully under good lighting and magnification. Look for sharp details, consistent coloring, and any unusual features that set the coin apart. Storing coins properly is equally important. Keeping them in protective holders or coin albums prevents further wear and preserves their condition for the future. Avoid cleaning coins, as cleaning can actually reduce value by damaging the original surface and patina that collectors prefer. As we come to the conclusion, the United States Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent from 1963 with the D mint mark stands as a reminder that even the smallest coins can carry big stories. While it may not always bring huge dollar amounts in circulated condition, it holds lasting value through its history, design, and place in American numismatics. For collectors, it's a coin worth examining, preserving, and appreciating. So the next time you come across a simple copper penny dated 1963, don't dismiss it too quickly. Take a closer look, because hidden within that small coin is a piece of American history and the timeless excitement of coin collecting. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Lincoln Memorial pennies, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because you never know which small coin could be your next big discovery. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.